So across the much of the fiat world, Charles, we see an infinite regress into more fiat. Right? All the fiat currencies refer to other fiat currencies. And we even see this kind of extending into other areas like that company Beyond Meat. This company sells fake meat, which many nutrients and nutritionalists will tell you is a toxic nightmare, but it trades at a higher stock market valuation than real companies, right? So the fake and the phony are overtaking the real. Your thoughts?
We can look to what's happening in the financial system for some dynamic, some explanation of why Beyond Meat and that kind of essentially worthless companies are valued in the billions, is the central banks have pushed interest rates to zero, and now in many places into negative interest yields, right? Where you're actually, it's costing you money to put your cash in a bank. Well, this means the system is completely broken, because capital is supposed to yield a return. It's supposed to earn a return. And so now capital can't earn a return, certainly not a safe return. So it's being pushed into extremely speculative markets. And what happens when all the capital is pushed into speculation, you get bubbles. Then central banks have to support and keep inflating the bubbles, because if the bubble pops, the whole financial system goes down the tubes. And so we see all this money sloshing around, going into absurd companies like Beyond Meat, and the bubble is increasing, but it's going to pop it someday, because you've created a system that's inherently unstable. And I think if we look at the long cycles of history, we see that when the empire first collapses, it can collapse rather abruptly, like Rome, the Western Roman Empire did, or it can kind of decay over time, like the Spanish and British empires. And if you have a decay phase, people can adjust over time, right, to a lower standard of living, less income, less trade, and so on. But if it's an abrupt change, which is more likely here in America, when the financial system does break, then people are really going to go through a tremendous psychic shock as well as an economic shock, because their standard of living is going to fall precipitously. And most people are not prepared for that eventuality.